So let me start off by saying I know this video is gonna be a little bit controversial, but I really wanted to talk about this. You know, I've been thinking about why I rarely touch multiplayer games anymore. I mean, sure, they can be fun in bursts, but for me, co-op games are where it's at. Multiplayer feels like showing up to a chaotic party where you know no one, and everyone's yelling slurs or asking for your mom's phone number. Co-op, on the other hand, is like inviting your best friends over for pizza and Mario Kart. It's just better vibes. So let's start with the obvious. Multiplayer games are like competitive caffeine on steroids. You log in and immediately some 12-year-old from Norway with a gamer tag like XX do your mom is absolutely wiping the floor with you. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to figure out why I spawned with a pistol. Co-op games, on the other hand, totally different energy. It's less about you're trash, uninstall the game, and more about, hey, do you have any health options? Oh, you used them all on the boss fight. Cool, I guess I'll die then. I've spoken about this, but in multiplayer there's always this unspoken pressure to perform. Like, if I don't land this headshot or grab the objective, I've somehow personally offended my team's ancestors. Co-op games? There's no scoreboard, no ranking, just teamwork, or hilarious failure, or joking about how your party is underleveled, or laughing at how you manage to keep falling off the same cliff. It's progress, but it doesn't feel like work. And I swore I wasn't going to talk about this in this video, but don't get me started on the matchmaking. Multiplayer matchmaking is the Wild West. You've got teammates who don't know how to play, teammates who care too much, and somehow think it's the finals of an esports tournament. And the occasional teammate who thinks it's a karaoke session instead of a game. And sure, your buddy might be the reason you both fell into a pit of lava, but at least you're laughing about it instead of screaming into each other's ears. Speaking of that, let's talk about toxic lobbies. I'm not here to get roasted by a 6th grader who doesn't know basic geography. I came to game, not to question my self-worth. Co-op eliminates the randos. It's just you and your crew, solving puzzles, smashing bad guys, or figuring out which one of you forgot to pack the healing items. Spoiler, it's always me. The real magic of co-op though, is it builds memories. Whether it's working together in It Takes Two, or get as much scrap as possible without dying in Lethal Company. These are the gaming moments that stick with you. Multiplayer games, sure, you get that occasional insane clutch, but half of the time, it's just grinding for a slightly shinier piece of gear, while your team calls you a bot. And if you're looking for a mechanically masterpiece that isn't a multiplayer game, you can look at Portal 2. It's not just about the mechanics, they're about shared stories, and you're not just two players, you're a team, solving puzzles and experiencing the plot together. You know, one of the things that get me most about multiplayer games is how much it feels like a chore. Every game has its battle pass, its seasonal events, its daily challenges. It's like, congrats, you're free to play this game, but only if you log in for 4 hours every day to collect 12 digital trinkets and climb the ranked ladder before it resets every month. On the other hand, co-op doesn't care if I have a life of my own. I can pick it up whenever, play as much or as little as I want, and nobody's going to yell at me for missing raid night. Only less than 2% of my viewers are subscribed, so if you appreciate the videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. Talking about the grind. In multiplayer, you're grinding for XP, grinding for loot, grinding for the privilege of being slightly better at grinding than the other guy. Co-op though, it's still a grind sometimes, but it feels like a fun grind. Maybe it's because you're in it together. And finally, let's compare storytelling. In multiplayer games, the story is a bunch of people shoot each other for reasons nobody remembers. Co-op games can be packed with emotional narratives, quirky side characters, and a plot twist you actually care about. Whether it's rebuilding your spaceship in Astroneer or surviving a zombie apocalypse in Left 4 Dead. Co-op games deliver stories that you and your friends can experience together. In cooperative games, you can handpick your team. If you want a squad of casuals who just want to have fun, you can do it. Want to bring in the ultra strategist who's already plotted out the next 3 moves? Also done. No randoms, no chaos, just good vibes. And the thing about multiplayer games is how disposable they feel. A new one drops every month and the old one just vanishes into obscurity. Comparing this to co-op games, these have staying power. You and your friends can come back years later and replay the same missions or dive into the DLC you never got around to. Nobody's worried about whether the servers are still up or if the meta's changed. It's timeless fun, not a passing trend. And let's talk about the social pressure of multiplayer games. You log in and it's like walking into a high school cafeteria where everyone already has their friend group. If you're not running with the top squad, you're either stuck trying to fit in with randoms or getting yelled at for not being meta. In co-op games, they're the chill hangout spot where it's just you and your friends cracking jokes and maybe accidentally setting the kitchen on fire in Overcooked. No one's judging you for choosing the wrong class or for exploring every corner of the map while everyone else is fighting. And then you have trash talking. Oh boy, I could make a whole separate video on this. Multiplayer trash talk could fill its own dictionary. It's like some players join voice chat with the sole purpose of auditioning for world's most creative insult. And while I don't really care and find it funny from time to time, this gets very old very quickly. And have you ever noticed how multiplayer games thrive on stress? Everything's timed, ranked and tracked. You're not just playing, you're performing. Co-op games, on the other hand, let you breathe. You can spend 15 minutes debating which weapon upgrade to pick, or accidentally spend half a session just decorating the base. There's no rush, no leaderboard, no game over screen flashing at you while someone demands you get good. It's gaming at its most relaxed. And honestly, who doesn't need more of that? These stories stick with you long after the credits roll. Unlike that one match in Warzone, where you barely survive a gulag showdown. So yeah, that's why I stick to co-op and single player. It's not that I don't play multiplayer, I just play it way less. It's not about being the best or proving anything to strangers, it's about having fun with friends and creating moments we'll joke about for years. Multiplayer games might be the flashy next blockbuster, but I'm just do my own thing. Alright, so what's your favorite co-op moment from which game? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, maybe you'll enjoy my next one. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, donate, mess a bit.